Hey guys, Shadowz here, welcome back to another Gears of War 5 video. Today we are going to be discussing what we know so far about the new enemies that we did see in the gameplay reveal trailer for Gears 5. During the Gears 5 gameplay reveal, there were quite a few new enemies that made their debut. It's just a few of the enemy types that we can expect while playing Gears 5 that we are going to be facing off against in the new latest upcoming Gears game from the Coalition Studio. Firstly, to begin with, we are going to be starting with the previously unknown new Swarm Scion, who thanks to a few of the developers announced during one of their live streams that this guy's name is actually officially called the Warden. This Warden Swarmer boss looks to be rocking a new armor variant which seems to be inspired by the previously deceased Locust Farron guards, as he equips a similar helmet and arm plate, adding in its own touch of a cape like Vanguard. On the back of the Warden itself, you can actually seems to be still wearing some sort of chain that might have been used to keep this creature caged for currently an unknown reason. The Warden is also using dual maces that seem to be infused by the very emulsion crystals that can be seen growing all over the Scions and other evolving Locust creatures. As Kate and Dale walk down the familiar corridor of a previously visited location back in Gears 2, the Warden seems to be pretty enraged that the location for where a lot of the unevolved sires were held in the past has not been only discovered but also just killed off and abandoned by Marcus and Dom in the past Gears game. The definition of a Warden is a person, well in this case a Swarm Scion, responsible for the supervision of a particular place or enforcing the regulations associated with it. So this Swarm Warden could either be a higher up within the Locust Horde in the past, where was giving the job to keep an eye on the facility itself with the old sires and maybe has been asleep this entire time for some weird strange reason, or maybe judging from the chains on its back was a pre-evolved sire itself or a beast of nature that the Locust maybe just kept away somewhere in the hollow itself, and the emotion countermeasure machine built by Adam Phoenix when it activated actually caused the Locust to evolve into the Swarm as we know, but also maybe granted this Warden creature the ability to evolve like the rest of the Locust Horde. Next up we have the corrupted DeeBees, as the Swarm's ability to infect and take over the robotic creations is actually a lot stronger and widespread since the last time we saw it, as the first example of the Swarm's ability to corrupt the DeeBees was actually seen back in Gears 4 as a Pouncer Quill shredded up a Jinn bot which actually came back to life and began to strangle JD Phoenix as a living organism, which is stopped once JD actually forcefully takes it out with his combat knife. As seen in the Gears 5 gameplay reveal, it seems like the Swarm corrupted DeeBees have evolved to their next stage, as a DR1 transforms itself into a fully working, functional firing sentry turret, which really goes to show that the Cog DeeBees have been pretty much just engulfed into the ever-growing Swarm army, who can now harvest both humans and robots into their very own forces. With the Swarm now having the ability to infect the DeeBees, they seem to be a lot more stronger and forever living, as we can see them crawling across the floor of this kitchen towards Kate Diaz before exploding and just blowing themselves up. Lastly, the final new enemy that is making its debut in the game is actually an already existing creature in the Gears universe but had never ever appeared in any of the other Gears games, as this flying krill-like creature are actually in the older Gears comics being known as Heart Leeches. These Heart Leeches were actually native creatures that lived in the Hollow, and while they weren't part of the Locust Horde army and their existence was already known by the human race, also dating back to early on in the Pendulum Wars, it seems like the Swarm have also turned them Heart Leeches to their side, and it seems like the Heart Leeches themselves are what are actually corrupting the DeeBees to forcefully fight against the humans of Syrah. Heart Leeches kill their prey by embedding themselves into their victims' chest, slowly tearing open their ribcage before devouring the victim's heart, as the leech then exits the deceased body, which is what actually, as you would expect, gives them their names, and also what unfortunately happens to this poor old Cog soldier fighting along Kate and Dale in the gameplay in the video right now. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below telling me what you think. What is your opinion on the revealed new enemies so far, being the Warden, the corrupted DeeBees, and also the Heart Leeches in Gears 5? So there you have it guys, full details on currently everything that we do know about the brand new Swarm enemies as seen in the E3 gameplay reveal trailer for Gears of War 5. Give the video a thumbs up and share if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall see you in the next one.